My husband saved my father's life. The same father who wrote him a 4-page letter calling him intellectually incompatible with our family. The same man who never once asked Samuel his last name, never asked what he actually did, never gave him a single moment of basic human respect. That father. And Samuel still scrubbed in, still operated, still brought him back. That's the story. But to understand why that moment hit the way it did, you have to go back to the beginning. Back to a hospital waiting room at 2 in the morning, a broken vending machine, and a security guard who brought me a turkey sandwich. February 19th, 2024. My roommate had been in a bike accident. Nothing life-threatening, but enough to land us in the pen ER at 2 in the morning. I'd been sitting in those green vinyl chairs for 3 hours. Fluorescent lights, broken coffee machine, out-of-order sign taped across it. I was staring at my phone, just scrolling because I didn't know what else to do with my hands. That's when someone stopped in front of me. "You've been here 3 hours. Have you eaten anything?" I looked up. Security guard. Mid-30s. Dark hair, worn boots, hospital ID badge clipped to his belt but flipped backwards. His face was tired, the kind of tired that comes from working nights, not from lack of sleep. "There's a difference." "No. The vending machine's broken. I'll grab you something from the staff room." He was back in 6 minutes. Turkey sandwich, still wrapped. Paper cup of coffee. "You didn't have to do that," I said. "You looked like you needed it." We talked for maybe 7 minutes. He didn't say much about himself, just that he worked nights, mostly operations and safety stuff. But the way he talked, calm, precise, no wasted words, it stuck with me. "Do you like working nights?" I asked. "It's when the work matters most." I didn't know what that meant. When the nurse called me back, I stood up. He was still there, hands in his pockets, watching the ER doors like he was keeping track of something I couldn't see. "I'm Avery," I said. "Samuel." A nurse walked past, saw him, started to say something. "Doctor," he cut her off with just a look. She stopped mid-word and kept walking. I noticed it, filed it away, figured she had the wrong person. 3 days later, he found me on social media and asked if I wanted to get coffee. Our first date was April 3rd, Reading Terminal Market, 12:30 in the afternoon. We grabbed Philly cheesesteaks, sat near Bassett's ice cream. He talked about Philadelphia like he loved it but never had time to see it. I talked about my job, academic publishing. He listened the way people don't listen anymore. His phone buzzed 4 times during lunch. He checked it once, typed something fast, all numbers and abbreviations, looked like medical shorthand, then put it away and gave me his full attention. 2 hours. He paid in cash. When we said goodbye, he smiled, really smiled, for the first time, and asked if he could see me again. I said yes. We fell into something slowly at first, then all at once. Samuel worked crazy hours. Sometimes gone for 36 hours straight. Overnight shifts, emergencies that needed handling. I didn't push. Hospital operations, I figured. Something that kept him constantly on call. He lived simply. Studio in South Philly, barely any furniture, books everywhere. Mostly medical textbooks and journals. "You read trauma surgery journals for fun?" I asked once. I like to understand how things work. I let it go. By December 2024, we'd been together almost 10 months and I was completely, stupidly in love. One night I just said it. "Move in with me." He looked at me for a long time. "You sure?" "I'm not around much." "I'm sure." He moved in with one duffel bag, a stack of medical journals, and a pager that beeped at random hours and pulled him out at 2 in the morning without explanation. I loved him for exactly who he was. Quiet, kind, solid. My family would care about what he did. I didn't. March 22nd, 2025. I finally told my mother about Samuel. "What does he do?" Her voice went bright immediately. "He works at Pennsylvania Hospital." Security. Silence. "Security operations," she repeated slowly. "Is that management?" "It's hospital work, Mom." "Of course. I'm sure he's very dedicated." That tone. The same voice she used when declining charity invitations she considered beneath her. Polite, carefully neutral, and poisonous underneath. I hung up. Samuel was in the kitchen making eggs. They want to meet you, I said. I heard. It'll be fine. He plated the eggs, handed me a fork. It won't be fine, Avery. But we'll do it anyway. May 18th. My parents' house in Bryn Mawr. Restored Victorian, faculty art on the walls. Samuel arrived on time, brought a modest bottle of wine, dressed in his best, which was still clearly not expensive enough. I saw my mother's eyes go straight to his shoes. Worn, not designer. My father shook his hand with the grip of a man running an assessment. And your educational background? State University. Scholarship. My mother smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Dinner was painful. My parents talked about tenure, publications, sabbatical plans in Provence. Samuel listened and answered questions politely. He didn't try to impress them or play their game. He just sat there, present and unbothered, and I think that bothered them more than anything. Halfway through, our neighbor Professor Pemberton mentioned her son's health problems. Dizziness, balance issues. 3 doctors, no answers. Samuel set down his fork. Sounds like vestibular neuritis, not vertigo. Has he seen an ENT? The table went quiet. How did you know that? My mother asked. I work in a hospital. You pick things up. He went back to his meal. My mother stared at him for 3 full seconds. Then changed the subject. Dinner ended at 9:30. At 10:43, my phone lit up. Mom, we need to talk about your future. Samuel reached over and held my hand. He didn't tell me it would be okay. He already knew it wouldn't. June 3rd. My father's letter arrived. 4 pages, typed single-spaced, on University of Pennsylvania Economics Department letterhead. We worry that a marriage built on such desperate foundations will not weather the challenges of time. Samuel seems like a kind man, but kindness alone cannot bridge the gap between your world and his. The word desperate appeared 3 times. I counted. I called Samuel. He was at work, beeping monitors, distant voices in the background. I read him the whole thing. He listened without interrupting once. When I finished, he asked me one question. Do you want to marry me? Yes. Then we get married. No anger. No defensiveness. Just quiet certainty. I loved him more in that moment than I ever had. June 10th. My mother invited me to coffee. I showed up thinking we'd finally talk it through. She'd brought someone. Avery, this is Dr. Sebastian Davis. His mother and I serve on the board together. Penn Med badge on his belt like a trophy. Pediatric surgeon. Ivy League everything. Summers in Maine. I sat down because walking out immediately felt too dramatic. I lasted 11 minutes. Sebastian's family has a house in Bar Harbor. I'm engaged, Mom. You're not married yet. I stood up, left my coffee untouched, and walked out. My mother didn't follow. That's when I knew they weren't going to stop. The family group chat exploded. 23 messages. Aunt Harriet, has anyone actually met this man? Cousin Darcy, I heard he works security, like night shifts. My brother Julian didn't write in the chat, he posted on Instagram instead. Sunset photo. Caption, sometimes you just have to watch people make their own mistakes. 340 likes. I left the group chat. My mother added me back. I left again. Then things started getting harder to explain away. Samuel came home one night at 2:14 a.m. after his phone rang at exactly that time. I'd woken up and heard him answer. How long? Okay, intubate. If SATs drop below 88, I'll be there in 12 minutes. Dressed and out the door in under 3 minutes. Back 6 hours later, exhausted. Small spot of blood on his shirt cuff. He saw me looking. Rough night, he said. Security guards don't give orders about intubation. I pushed the thought away. July 22nd. I picked him up from the hospital. He was outside in scrubs. A nurse walked past, stopped. Doctor, the family in Bay 3 wants to thank you before they leave. Tell them I'll stop by. I stared at him. That nurse called you doctor. She's new. Probably confused the badge system. His ID was still flipped backwards. I almost pushed. But I looked at his face, the dark circles, the bone-deep exhaustion, and I let it go. I wish now I had asked. August 12th. I sent 68 invitations to my side of the family. Beautiful cream cardstock, calligraphy addressing, every envelope done by hand. RSVP deadline, August 28th. Samuel watched me seal them. You don't have to invite them, he said. They're my family. He didn't argue. But I saw it in his eyes. He already knew what was coming. August 20th. My mother sent an email. I wasn't on the recipient list. My cousin Darcy forwarded it 2 hours later. WTF is this? Dear family and friends, after much painful deliberation, we will not be attending Avery's wedding. We cannot in good conscience support a marriage that represents such a significant departure from our family's values. With regret, Eleanor and Theodore Whitfield. Attached was a family Christmas photo. I wasn't in it. I called the caterer. I need to cancel 68 seats. Pause. 68? Are you sure? I'm sure. I'm so sorry, she said quietly. I hadn't expected kindness from a stranger. I cried in my car for 20 minutes after I hung up. August 28th, 0 responses. Not one. Some people had opened the invitation, I could see the read receipts. They just didn't respond. My brother didn't write, didn't call. Nothing. September 3rd. I met with the venue coordinator. How many seats should we remove from your side? She asked gently. None. Leave them empty. We could shift Samuel's guests to make it look more balanced. No. 34 empty chairs. I want to see it. She looked at me like I was punishing myself. Maybe I was. But I needed the truth to be visible. September 13th. The night before my wedding. My phone was silent. Samuel came home at 11:47 from an overnight shift. Found me on the couch. He sat down, took my hand. We can cancel. Go to City Hall Monday. Just us. No. I want the wedding. I want them to know what they chose. He kissed my forehead. Okay. Then we do this your way. At 11:43, my phone rang. Mom. Avery, it's not too late to cancel. Think about what you're doing to this family. Don't embarrass us like this. She hung up before I could say a word. I played it 3 times. Not because I didn't understand it. Because some part of me kept waiting for it to sound different. It didn't. She really wasn't coming. September 14th, 2025, 4 p.m. Alone in the bridal suite. No mother to help me zip up my dress. The venue coordinator Paige helped with the back. You look stunning, she said. I looked in the mirror. White dress, David's bridal, $1,200. Hair, makeup. I looked beautiful. I looked alone. I checked my phone one last time. 0 messages. I turned it off. 4:02, the doors opened. String quartet, Canon in D, the song I'd picked when I still thought my father would walk me down the aisle. Left side, 34 empty chairs. Programs sitting untouched on every seat. Right side, Samuel's people. 82 of them, standing, smiling. His mother in the front row, already crying. And Samuel at the altar in a navy suit. He saw me. His face broke open. He mouthed something I couldn't hear. But I knew. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I started walking. 90 feet. No father, no brother, no one holding my arm. Just me, white heels that hurt, a bouquet I held too tightly, and 34 empty chairs. Every step was a choice. Every empty chair was theirs. I kept walking. Samuel took my hands when I reached him. Both of us shaking. The officiant, Reverend Andrea Martin, began the ceremony. We'd written our own vows. Samuel went first. His voice cracked halfway through. I don't have much. But what I have is yours. My time, my hands, my life. I see you, Avery. I've always seen you. My turn. You're enough. You've always been enough. And I choose you today and every day after. You may kiss the bride. He kissed me like we weren't standing in a room with 34 empty chairs. Like it was just us. For one moment, it was. Reception, 4:35. Table 3, front left. 8 place settings. Calligraphy name cards. Eleanor, Theodore, Julian, Aunt Harriet, Uncle Adrian, Cousin Darcy, Winifred, Professor Pemberton. 8 empty seats, untouched champagne glasses, plates that would never hold food. Samuel's mother Kathleen hugged me so hard I could barely breathe. "You're our daughter now." I smiled at her, then looked over at table 3. Every hour, at least twice. It was a wound that wouldn't close. 6:33, first dance. Can't help falling in love. Samuel held me. We swayed. "I thought they'd come," I whispered. "I know, baby. I know." The song ended. We kept swaying for 5 more seconds. 7:23, dessert was being served. Samuel was near table 8 talking to his uncle when I heard it. "George! George! Someone help!" A man, 62, maybe, collapsed near the dessert station. His wife on her knees beside him. People froze. Samuel was already moving. He crossed the room in seconds, dropped down, and everything about him changed. He went from wedding guest to something else entirely. Something I had never seen before. "Someone call 911. Tell them 62-year-old male, possible MI, wedding reception at Horticultural Center." His hands moved with total precision. No panic. Complete focus. A woman in a dress and heels ran over. "Dr. Mercer, I have an AED in my car." Already running. Another man appeared. "Samuel, you want me to handle compressions. Get my medical kit, back seat, start oxygen if you have it." They moved like a team. Like they'd done this 100 times. The AED arrived. "Dr. Mercer, it's ready. Charge to 200. Compressions, 2 inches, 100 per minute. Rotate every 2. The EMTs arrived. Recognition crossed their faces the moment they saw him. "Dr. Mercer, we've got it from here, sir. We'll transport to Penn." Samuel stood, hands at his sides, face completely calm. This was not a man who was used to emergencies. This was a man who ran them. Someone near me was filming. I didn't notice. I was too busy staring at my husband like I'd never seen him before. Because I hadn't. Samuel rode with the EMTs. 15 minutes. He came back at 8:10. "Is he okay?" "He'll be fine. Stent procedure tonight. Full recovery expected." Everyone kept calling you doctor. Long silence. 3 seconds. 5. "I am a doctor." "Samuel, you said you worked security." "I do. Safety protocols, operations, I oversee all of that." Pause. "But I'm also a trauma surgeon. Chief of trauma at Penn Medicine." "You're what?" "Chief for 6 years. 12 years total at Penn." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you never needed me to be more than I was." We stood there, the reception happening all around us, and I was looking at a man I thought I knew completely, realizing I'd been missing an entire chapter. "We'll talk later," he said. "Right now, we have a wedding to finish." He took my hand. I followed. What else was I going to do? We left at 11. Went home, fell into bed, slept. We had no idea what was already happening online. Reese Clark, daughter of the man who collapsed, had posted the video at 8:04 p.m. 10 seconds of shaky footage. Samuel kneeling, the AED, the EMTs deferring. "Dr. Mercer, we've got it from here, sir." Caption, "OMG, the groom just saved my dad's life and everyone's calling him Dr. Mercer. Hashtag wedding hero, hashtag doctor, hashtag lifesaver." By 9 p.m., 3,200 views. By midnight, 340,000. By 6:42 the next morning, when I woke up to my phone vibrating nonstop, 2.8 million. 47 missed calls. I opened TikTok. The video was everywhere. That's Dr. Samuel Mercer from Penn. He's a legend in trauma surgery. He did my sister's emergency surgery in 2021. Saved her life. The Mercer protocol is taught in med schools now. I shook Samuel awake. He looked at my phone, then his. His face went pale. Oh no. By 10:22, Penn Medicine had released an official statement. Chief of Trauma Surgery, Medical Director of the Philadelphia Trauma Network since 2019, pioneer of the Mercer Protocol. Philly.com, NBC Philadelphia. Medical Twitter. By 2 p.m. he was trending nationally. Then the patient testimonials came. Dr. Mercer saved my daughter after a 4-story fall. We owe him everything. My brother coded twice during surgery. Dr. Mercer brought him back both times. My brother just turned 30. Over 400 in the first 24 hours. I sat at my kitchen table and cried. Not just from pride. Because I had no idea. And also because, in every way that actually mattered, I had always known exactly who he was. My mother called 11 times. My father emailed. Subject, urgent family matter. My brother Dmed, Avery, I didn't know. I swear. I'm so sorry. I read it. Didn't respond. September 16th. My mother's world started coming apart. Faculty colleagues pulling her aside. Whispers in the economics department lounge. The school board meeting where she walked in and the room went quiet. Country club tennis, pointed questions from people who'd seen the video. The world she'd built on appearances and status was collapsing. And everyone was watching. September 17th, someone leaked her email. Screenshot on Twitter. Full text, timestamp, her signature. We cannot in good conscience attend. 68,000 retweets. Imagine boycotting your daughter's wedding because her husband saves lives for a living. BuzzFeed. Huffington Post. Local news. I didn't have to do anything. The truth was its own punishment. Samuel and I went to the Adirondacks. A cabin with no cell service. Wood stove, hiking trails, real silence. Third day, sitting on the porch. He had coffee, I had tea. Why didn't you tell me? He looked out at the trees. Because you saw me. Really saw me. Not the credentials or the title. Just me. And I didn't want to lose that. You wouldn't have lost it. Maybe. But I've spent my whole adult life being Dr. Mercer. The surgeon everyone calls when things go wrong. That's important work, but it's exhausting being that person all the time. He looked at me. You met me in a waiting room at 2 in the morning. I was in a security uniform. I brought you a sandwich. And you talked to me like I was just a person. You still lied to me. I didn't lie. I didn't correct your assumptions. And yeah, that was wrong. But Avery, for the first time in my adult life, someone loved me for who I was, not what I could do. I wanted to keep that, even if it was selfish. I was quiet for a long time. I'm still angry, I said. I know. But I understand. He reached for my hand. We sat there until the sun went down. October went by in a blur. The video faded, new stories, new heroes, the internet moved on. But the fallout for my family didn't. My mother's board positions became uncomfortable. My father's department colleagues kept their distance. They all tried to reach out, emails, calls, letters. I didn't respond to any of it. November 8th, 2025. 7:12 p.m. My phone rang. Mom. I almost hit decline. I answered. Avery. Her voice was shaking. It's your father. He collapsed at a faculty event. Penn Presbyterian. His heart. Avery, please come. I need you. I looked at Samuel. He was already grabbing his keys. Let's go. 8:20, Penn Presbyterian ER. My mother was there in her cashmere coat, makeup running, hands shaking. She saw me and broke down. Avery, I know you hate me. I know what we did. Mom. Not now. Where is he? We sat. We waited. At 9:15, a nurse came out. Mrs. Whitfield? Your husband is in surgery. She paused. Dr. Mercer is operating. My mother's face went white. Samuel? Yes. Dr. Mercer is chief of trauma on call tonight. Your husband is in the best hands. She collapsed back into her chair. We didn't speak for 90 minutes. Finally, she whispered, she stopped. Hand over her mouth. Oh God. Avery. What have we done? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. 11:47, the doors opened. Samuel walked out in scrubs. Mrs. Whitfield. Avery. Your husband is stable. Emergency coronary bypass. He's going to be okay. My mother stood, tears streaming. You saved him. We did our job. He'll need cardiac rehab, lifestyle changes. Prognosis is good. Samuel. Her voice broke. After everything we did to you. After what we said. And you still. Mrs. Whitfield. Gentle, but clear. I'm a doctor. I took an oath. I don't get to pick and choose who deserves care. She sobbed. Samuel looked at me. Exhaustion in his eyes, and underneath it, sadness. Not for himself, for me. November 9th. My father woke up in the ICU. He asked to see Samuel. Samuel came between rounds. 6 minutes. I was wrong, my father said, voice weak, machines beeping. So completely wrong. Mr. Whitfield. Focus on recovery. I called you nobody. Yes, you did. My father's eyes filled. I don't deserve your forgiveness. No, you don't. But that's between you and your daughter. My job was to keep you alive. I did that. He left. My father stared at the ceiling. He would live, but he would carry this for the rest of his life. They all tried to reconnect. Emails, letters, voicemails. My brother texted November 15th, I miss you. My mother's 5-page apology arrived November 20th. We judged a man by his job title and missed his character entirely. We abandoned our daughter on the most important day of her life. If you're willing, we'd like to try to earn our way back, slowly, on your terms. I read everything. Responded to nothing for 5 weeks. December 12th, I texted my mother. Coffee Monday. Just you and me. December 18th, Rittenhouse brew. She ordered tea, didn't touch it. 32 minutes. She apologized, cried, made no excuses. For once in her life, she didn't try to explain it away. I listened, then laid out my terms. No normal relationship, not yet, maybe not ever. No holidays, no unsolicited advice, no timeline pressure. And she would always respect Samuel. I understand, she said. She didn't ask for more. That was the first thing she'd done right in months. Christmas. My parents invited us to the big family dinner. I declined. We spent it with Samuel's family in their South Philly row home. 14 people in a small house. His mother cooked like she was afraid someone might go hungry, and nobody ever did. His father watched football. Their dog Louie stole food off the counter. Loud, chaotic, warm. It felt like home. My phone buzzed at 6 p.m. Mom, Merry Christmas. We miss you. I read it. Didn't respond. Not yet. December 31st, Samuel and I stayed home. Quiet. Champagne. Do you think I should forgive them? I asked. He thought about it. I think you should do whatever lets you sleep at night. We watched fireworks from our window. Midnight came. I kissed my husband. The man my family called nobody. The man who brought a stranger a sandwich at 2 in the morning. The man who stood at an altar in front of 34 empty chairs and waited for me anyway. The man who saved my father's life after my father spent months trying to tear us apart. I chose this. Every single day, I chose this. People ask if I forgave my family. Honestly? Not fully. Not yet. Maybe someday. But here's what I've learned, forgiveness isn't a requirement for peace. Boundaries are. My family chose status over character. Appearances over love. Pride over their own daughter. And they had to live with that. The man they called nobody? He was everything. He saw my worth before the world validated it. He loved me when I was just Avery, not the right family, not the right connections. Just me. And I loved him the same way. Just Samuel. Not chief of trauma surgery. Not the Mercer protocol. Not the surgeon who saved thousands of lives. Just the guy who worked nights. Who held my hand when my family walked away. The man I walked toward down that 90-foot aisle, past 34 empty chairs, and chose. That was enough. That will always be enough. And I'd do every single bit of it again. Thanks for listening. If this story meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the quiet, unassuming people who turn out to be everything. The most powerful people in the room are often the ones you never saw coming.